Tsara, translated as leprosy, like the plagues of Egypt, was a blow or strike delivered by the Lord. It appeared for the first time at the Exodus at a time when Egypt was afflicted with all manner of skin diseases. Like the plagues, Tsara broke out in boils, tumors, and scabs. At this point, it becomes reasonable to ask a simple question. If Tsara was identical to the skin plagues of Egypt, its boils the same as the boils of Egypt, then isn't it likely that its cause was the same? If so, we should find evidence to support this conclusion. We know that the toxic agent that caused the grievous murrain and boils and blains of Egypt was the poisonous dust raining down on the country from the planet Mars. Is there any evidence that dust was the pathogen causing leprosy in man, clothing, and houses? Though the scriptures do not explicitly link the dust to Tsara in relation to its effects upon humans, they do make a direct connection between the dust and the leprosy of houses. When a house was declared unclean with the plague, the priest was directed to shut the house up for 7 days. On the seventh day, the priest was to return and inspect the house, and more specifically, the walls. If the plague had spread, then he was to have the dust scraped from the walls and thrown into an unclean place outside the city. That the plague was in the walls of the house and that it was dust that was scraped off the walls and tossed into the unclean place provides a firm basis for believing that the dust was the pathogen for leprous houses. The dust from the walls itself was considered unclean. Moreover, it makes sense that something like dust would be the agent for houses. The Martian dust would likely adhere to the walls and stones of houses, and its acidity would react with the walls, eating them away and causing streaking and depressions. Mars toxic dust would likely infiltrate cloth of all types. It would eat at the cloth as it did the walls. The biblical text states that the Tsara was in the cloth and that the cloth itself became infected. This wasn't a case of the cloth acting as a carrier or a dormant disease. Dust as pathogen also explains the shaving of hair. The man cleansed of Tsara was required to shave his entire body twice, along with washing his clothes and body. By shaving off all the hair, including beards and eyebrows, this would ensure that there was not remaining impurity. It would also make sure that any dust that worked its way into the hair would also be removed. Washing the body and the clothes would also remove any lingering dust.